guys, my name is Aaron, and today I'll be presenting my project, Python Teacher. This project was inspired by social distance learning due to COVID-19. What I really like about it is that the program can tell you if you answer the question correctly or not. The main features I created for my project are teaching the students and letting the student control the turtle. How I created my project. I used Replit, which is an online coding environment. I used Python and Turtle to build my project. I used functions for each lesson. I also used if statements and loops to let the student keep using the turtle until they wanted to stop. Here's an example of code that I wrote for my project. The code in part 1 defines the function, as the DEF says. The code in part 2 starts the function. Here are some features of this Python teacher. So here we have a turtle controller, which you can press number keys to control the turtle. It'll teach you, it'll have a quiz and also show that what you are drawing with this turtle controller. Here's a demo. So first to last for your name. For me, I'll just type Aaron. It'll just ask you how you're doing. I'm doing fine. So now it'll teach you how to print stuff in the console. Now keep in mind, this project is actually very low level, meaning that beginners will be able to somewhat understand on what they're being taught. So here, it'll just ask us to type in this. And then now it'll tell you, nice job, let's go into the next lesson. And it'll tell you what is the turtle. And then in this, it'll explain what things that you can do with the turtle. And then so if we want to, for example, draw a square, then we can just press 7 as the preset here shows. And then it'll just draw a square. So if we wanted to move the turtle forward, for example, 90, it'll go forward, right? And then you can use 3 to turn left. And then you can make it go forward. Make it turn left again. And make it go forward again. And then so on and so forth. So, and then when you click 6, it will simply tell you, it will simply ask what function do you use to print stuff, just like this. So the answer would be print. And then that's the end of the project, basically. My next steps is, if I were to continue work on this project, I would add more lessons and a better UI. All right, there you go. Thank you.
Nice. So everyone, Q&A time as usual. Type your questions in the chat or say them out loud.
Is there a link that we can run the program at? Sure, let me give you the link right now. How long did it take to make it? It took about maybe a few days and weeks.
5年级，那是5年级小孩子看一下。
Any more questions?
I guess, Aaron, did you run into any difficulties while you were making this program?
Yes, so I had difficulties like syntax, for example. It sort of took forever, although I knew the basics of Python functions, yada yada. It took me a while to just simply make the project work. I just had to tinker around with the code until it
有没有实时的翻译软件？
did what I wanted it to do. Were there any bugs? Not of any that I know of right now.
Yeah, and William, to answer your question, the link that Aaron sent is his project, so you can go ahead and try it out.
This project is actually still a bit preliminary and still a bit like, in sort of like a beta version, because in the future I plan adding a UI. I actually have started on the UI version and I've gotten reasonably far, although, it's not done yet. I'm also planning to add more lessons and, quiz questions.
So how long does this take you to make?
Took me about few days and weeks. At most, probably a month.
That's really fast, actually. Nice.
It was difficult, but Stack Overflow, it's really easy to figure out what you've done wrong.
So for the oh, sorry, go ahead.
So when there's errors, I can simply search up what I did wrong in the error, and I will be able to figure out probably less than a few minutes.
So for the new UI that you're gonna add, do you plan on making a website or like an app for the UI?
I'm actually in the making of a website, and I do have a UI version, by the way. It's not completely done yet.
Would you mind showing
If you
us,
guys
or is
want
it?
to check it out, if you guys want to check it out, how much code? Like, Alex, what do you mean by that? How many lines do you mean? Well, for how many lines of code, it's probably just like around 89 lines, a few, like 89 lines of code. And for our UI version, we have 81 lines of code. It's just an estimate.
So how long have you been learning Python?
I've been learning Python for around, maybe just say like a year or so. Because before I took coding mind classes, I had, I went to different classes, which I was taught to use Turtle, that stuff.
You just completed Python 1.
Yeah, and I also just concluded Python 1, which is a, Python class. And I'm having Python 2 right now. Is it a game? Sort of like more like a teaching tool, let's just say.
Okay, do we have any more questions? Someone's self-promoting in the chat. Not to do that.
Self-promoting.
Do we have any questions from the hosts, maybe?
Any future improvements?
Future improvements, UI, and other stuff that if I would mention it, it would probably be on here for another hour. just a lot of stuff.
All right, cool. And once you're done with all your improvements, you can come back again and show off your complete project.
Yeah, I'll be releasing it to the public.
So I guess last call for questions. Okay, I guess we can end it here today. Thank you, Aaron, for your presentation. It was really cool. So let's
No
go
problem.
to our Angel.
Yeah, thank you guys for so much for coming tonight. We will have another presentation next week, so please tune in there. And thank you, Aaron, for showing us your amazing project. And have a great evening, everyone. Thank you.